The world awoke to a seismic shift, not with tanks, but with a document from Beijing. China has released a landmark white paper, a global community of shared security for a new era. This isn't just policy, it's a bold declaration that China wants to shape the next global order. The move has sent shockwaves through Washington, Tokyo, and beyond. For decades, America set the rules for international security. Now, China is stepping forward with its own vision, reaching beyond military power to AI, cyberspace, and even outer space. Beijing argues the old rules are obsolete and is ready to write new ones. The timing is no accident. Global tensions are high, and the Indo-Pacific is a focal point. The US is shoring up alliances. China is countering with influence. This white paper is a strategic play, shifting the contest from military might to ideas and norms. It uses the language of peace and cooperation to advance a revolutionary agenda. The world must now respond not to a threat, but to an offer. The document is crafted for a global audience, speaking of shared challenges and common destinies. China positions itself as a responsible leader, not a disruptor. This narrative will resonate with many, especially in the developing world. Many nations feel the current system doesn't serve their interests. China offers an alternative, one where Beijing, not Washington, sets the agenda. The implications are profound and will be debated for years. The era of a single undisputed global leader may be ending. This is Xi Jinping's most audacious move yet, a direct challenge to the US-led order. The world is now forced to consider a new vision for global security. Will nations accept China's offer or resist its ambitions? The stage is set for a new contest over the rules of the world. The next chapter in global leadership is being written now. The question is, who will hold the pen? What exactly is a white paper? It's not just a report, it's an authoritative declaration of a government's policy and intent. For China, publishing a white paper on global security is a serious statement. It's a foundational text for future foreign policy, not a casual press release. Unlike previous defense white papers, this one is broader, about global, not just Chinese security. It's a blueprint for a new international architecture. By publishing it, Beijing moves from reacting to events to setting the agenda. The document is a tool of soft power designed to persuade, not coerce. It uses the language of international law and multilateralism. China knows that shaping norms and institutions is as important as economic or military might. The goal: win the battle of ideas and convince others its approach is more equitable and stable. This is a long-term strategy to lead the reform of global governance. For years, analysts wondered about China's ultimate ambitions. This white paper makes it clear: China wants to be a rule maker, not just a rule taker. The clarity is both helpful and alarming for the West. It removes ambiguity and confirms a fundamental challenge to the existing order. The world now has to grapple with China's open ambition. The stakes for global leadership have never been higher. The white paper is China's official bid for a new world order. The white paper signals a shift. Global security's future lies beyond traditional battlefields. China is targeting new domains: artificial intelligence, cyberspace, and outer space. Whoever writes the rules for these technologies will hold power for decades. In AI, China calls for international agreements on military use, aiming to shape regulations to its advantage. It wants its ethical and technical standards embedded globally, giving its companies and military an edge. In cyberspace, China pushes for cyber sovereignty, each nation controlling its own internet. The white paper elevates this as a pillar of global security, challenging the open internet model. It's an attempt to legitimize and export China's state-controlled internet as a global standard. In outer space, China calls for new treaties to prevent weaponization, positioning itself as a champion of peace. Strategically, it seeks to constrain US military space capabilities and level the playing field. The document is a sophisticated bid to shape the rules in all these domains. China's goal: embed its influence in the very fabric of tomorrow's world. The battle is now over standards, not just territory. The future will be decided by who sets the protocols for AI, cyberspace, and space. China is making its move to lead in these new frontiers. The world must decide whether to follow, resist, or compete. The timing of this white paper is no accident. Tensions between China and the US are at a peak, with fierce competition over technology and influence. The US is strengthening alliances like the Quad. China sees this as containment. The white paper is a calculated response, aiming to outflank American strategy. By speaking the language of shared security, China seeks the diplomatic high ground. The world is distracted by economic instability and regional conflicts, an opportunity for China to launch its initiative. Many nations, weary of rivalry, may be receptive to China's message of cooperation. Under Xi Jinping, China believes it's ready for global leadership. The era of hide your strength, bide your time is over. China is formally presenting its credentials as a central pillar of the international system. The white paper rests on 4 pillars to reshape global security. First, it calls for limits on new weapons, using ambiguous definitions to target US tech while protecting its own. Second, it proposes international oversight of military AI, positioning China to shape global standards. Third, it demands a new treaty for outer space, aiming to curb US dominance and build a coalition. Fourth, it champions indivisible and shared security, no nation's security at another's expense. This challenges the US alliance system and proposes dialogue over alliances. China invites the world to co-design a new security system. It's a direct ideological challenge to American foreign policy. The world must now weigh this alternative vision. Strip away the diplomacy, and China's goal is clear: to write the rules of the 21st century. For decades, the US and its allies authored the global order. China played by their rules. Now China wants to be the architect, not just a tenant. In new domains like AI and cyberspace, the rules are still unwritten. A historic opportunity. Whoever sets the standards will gain commercial and strategic power. China is moving fast to fill the void before the West can act. It's the difference between living in a house and designing it yourself. For years, China prospered within a system it didn't create. Now, it wants to build a new system to its own specifications. The real contest is over who sets the terms of international life. Will the world follow Western principles or China's model of state-led development? This white paper is Beijing's formal bid to be chief global architect. Washington cannot afford to ignore this challenge. The competition is about shaping the very future of global governance. The outcome will define the next era. China's strategy targets the global south, developing nations often left out of the Western-designed order. The white paper speaks to their grievances, promising sovereignty, non-interference, and shared development. China offers partnership, not lectures, and a vision of a multipolar world combined. Through initiatives like Belt and Road, China has built deep ties and now leverages that goodwill. It presents itself as a stable, understanding partner, unlike what it portrays as a fickle West. This appeal puts the US in a bind. Its values can seem intrusive, while China offers a transactional model. Many in the global south may find China's approach more attractive. As China builds a coalition, it could gain a powerful bloc in international forums. The balance of global influence may shift as a result. Global power is shifting from military might to the power of regulation. China's white paper shows it understands. Influence now comes from setting standards and writing rules. The power of the pen shapes technology, trade, and security. The EU and US have long set global norms. Now China is mounting a serious challenge. It uses its vast market and places officials in key international bodies. If China sets the standards for future technologies, its influence will grow exponentially. Countries will align with China by adopting its technologies and rules, no force required. The struggle is now over who writes the code and chairs the committees. This is the quiet, invisible battle China has brought into the open. The outcome could fundamentally reorder global power. The world must recognize this new arena of competition. We stand at a defining moment. China has presented a bold vision for a new global order. The world must decide: accept China's offer to co-author the rules, or enter a prolonged struggle for control. The US and its allies face a dilemma: reject China and risk alienating the global south, or engage and risk ceding leadership. This isn't just a contest between two powers. It's a debate about the world's future. Do we want universal values or a system that accommodates different models? The future will be shaped by incremental battles in technical committees and diplomatic forums. A hybrid world order is likely, blending old and new, American and Chinese influence. The great drama is watching how this new order takes shape. Who will ultimately hold the pen that writes the final draft? The floor is open for discussion.